All right, what's up? Spotlight on. We are going to interview Anabelle Acosta. She's on a new film. It's called Fat Camp. I want to talk to her, and I'm sure you want to hear more about her story. That's coming up right now.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Let it begin, Annabelle. Come on, let's see that wiggle. She chose the song. I don't know how to wiggle.
I love this song.
How you do it? What do you do? Look
I think it's from the waist.
Oh my God! What? That's Anabelle Acosta,
this
everybody.
Makes me feel like I'm on an island.
We are really in a summer vibe.
Really hot guy.
Right now. Oh, well, yeah, there we go. Okay. I'm sweating already. What's up, everyone? Spotlight on. You are listening to Despacito, of course, chosen by this actress here that is joining us. It's Anabelle Acosta on the film Fat Camp, which is coming to BET.
Yes.
Started at the LA Film Festival, and let's talk with you in our Spotlight on series. How are you this hot, sweaty summer day?
I am fantastic. How are you?
Oh my God. Well, you are interesting because I do know a little bit about your backstory, so we want to continue to bring that to life. And there's a lot of different things with you, but Fat Camp is the one that we're kind of promoting, talking about, and pushing today. Not a movie that went straight to BET. Where was the journey to get towards the network?
We started off at the Los Angeles Film Festival. For a while, I think we were trying to figure out what would be the best home for our film, the best audience, and the LA Film Festival was perfect.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then it just did so well that BET came running. Because Chris Redd, now he's acting, comedian. Is he also like a writer in the project as well?
He's not.
Okay.
But he is a writer.
Okay.
Yes.
Super funny guy.
So talented.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what is your character, Abby, like? Does she tempt him or does she check him? I feel like from the trailer, I don't really understand.
A little bit of both. Well, they have history. When they were kids, they knew each other and they were both fat. And she always had a crush on him when they were younger, and he turned her down and he would always make fun of her. And then when he sees her later on, when he goes to the Fat Camp, he has no idea that it's her.
Oh, she's grown up, I guess.
Yes, and now she's, hot.
She's you. Okay, and I do want to talk about that because you and I, I worked on an interview with you before for American Latino TV, so I do know a lot about your story, as I said, but there's so much with you because you don't necessarily, you were explaining to me like what it's like to be the pretty girl, so to speak, in casting and typecasting, I guess. Is that sort of what you were alluding to?
A little bit, yes, because I gravitate towards the meaty roles. Yeah. And I love the action stuff. I got to do, action stuff in Quantico, stunts and shoot guns, and I played a single mom that her child had been taken away from her. So that came with a lot of emotion and depth and, range, and, she had to be, she was tough, but still, there were moments where, you see her vulnerability and breakdown. So, a lot of times when you look a certain way in this industry, I think they automatically, typecast you to be a certain thing. So for certain roles, it's like, oh, she's too pretty, but it's like, no,
yeah,
I
because
can act.
and that's because that's a true passion of yours, and I always feel like it's like they want you to play the girlfriend almost all the time, and that does work. And an actress that I liked, and maybe you like her as well. I always liked how like Rosario Dawson did play the girlfriend, and he got game, but always was able to kind of maneuver other she was in the Stoner movie, and yet she was in the action, so not everyone's able to do that, but that's definitely maybe an agenda for you, kind of, if you could like wave the wand.
I've actually been able to transition into that. I used to have really, really long hair, and I chopped it off for Quantico, and now it just, it looks different, and it gives me a bit more of just like a different edge. Okay.
Yeah. Edgy. Let's talk with her real quick. Anthony in the booth. If we have a minute, let's take a look at the trailer so we could at least really get into Fat Camp and get excited about the BET premiere. Let's see, we have the trailer.
The deal was that you would have a job or be out of my house.
You don't want your baby boy out here in the streets just working no regular job.
Bingo! You've got a job.
Oh, hell no.
Welcome to Camp Vision, California's premier fitness camp.
Fat camp. You guys think y'all have like, a little bit of baby fat? You got grown man fat on your little baby bodies.
I don't need to lose weight. I'm a freaking stud. Why are you just like that? Got a hot date?
Who is that?
That's Abby Krippa. She's cute if you're into that type of thing.
Everybody's into that type of thing.
Is this a good time to ask you out, or is this
My camp, my rules.
My hell.
Your body issues put my campers to shame.
I smell booze.
Yeah! Stop using all your body. It's a two-step with your feet.
Let's go to the mountain top. We're gonna celebrate. Living a life. We're gonna glide. We're gonna ride. We're gonna fly through the night.
I can't do two people's jobs, Hutch. I'm one person.
What about on the airplane?
Okay,
That's
so
my favorite line.
a delightful look at, you know, body issues. It's
Yes.
humorous. Can I tell you, like, even for me, I feel like, I'll be honest with you, there's not many days that will go by where I don't kind of assess like where I am as far as gaining weight, losing weight. You know, there was a point in my life I was at like 310, 315. So
Wow.
it's always like on my mind. So when I watch the trailer,
You
like,
look amazing.
and I'm getting better, so don't you worry. It's going to be a good summer. But that's the thing. Like, what I loved about it is because as a, you know, almost being a critic, I'm like, oh no, fat camp. Are they going to make
Yes.
jokes that are going to be insensitive? I was able to like rock out with what they said, and also be like, oh man, I relate because I
Yes.
know what it's like to walk into a room being overweight,
Yes.
and your jokes maybe have to be funnier.
Yes.
I guess it's a typecasting in itself, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you ever struggle with weight issues yourself?
Absolutely. Yeah, you know, I'm Latina, so I love to eat. I grew
Okay,
up,
see,
you
yeah.
know, rice, beans, plantains, all of that, you know, good stuff. And when I first started acting, I wasn't the smallest girl, and I didn't have the best eating habits. I didn't have the best discipline as far as, you know, working out goes. So yeah, I actually lost some roles,
Right.
because I looked too big on camera.
There's so many variables. The hair has to be a certain way, and I guess
Yeah.
your look.
Yeah.
Did you ever get? Sorry to jump ahead. Did you ever get any pushback from people who, let's say the people you grew up with, or people who just said, "Hey, you're fine. You are a naturalistic
Absolutely,
Latina."
yeah. I mean, I was curvy. I still am. I've just really slimmed down.
Right.
For work, and especially for projects, I cleanse. I go on diets just to look. The camera adds weight.
Yeah.
It does. And when I do the action stuff, when I do the stunts, you have to be in really, really good shape, because you're spending 12, 16 hours doing fighting scenes and,
Right.
running on a rooftop 90 degrees in New York. And it's like your stamina, your body needs to be ready for that.
And it's not superficial at all to say, like, I feel like your confidence just has to go up immensely.
It does.
You know, like, I think about even like doing a show like this. I'm like, I see the
Yeah.
cameras on me, but if I would have lost 20
It
more
does.
pounds, you feel more,
Yeah, and it's not so much the way you look, it's how you feel.
Right.
So when you feel healthy, when I feel healthy, when I feel like my body's tight and I'm strong, that gives me, a certain confidence when I'm on set or when I walk into auditions that I didn't so much have before. I mean, I was never fat like the way Abby was,
Yeah.
but
so the character in this
for
movie,
Hollywood I was.
Right. Well,
I was curvy.
Yeah.
I was
and I
a curvy
noticed
girl.
that the time I did have an agent when I was dancing around here in this, LA thing, trying to be a host and doing commercials and stuff like that. The time that I was big, I would get so much love and attention and go to tons of auditions. The moment I became regular, like what you see now, it's like I wasn't any type anymore, and it was really hard on me emotionally. Like I don't want to dwell on it, but these are the things that I think you go through.
Absolutely,
we all go through. But you do go to casting still as the pretty girl, and that doesn't bother you though. You're okay with just
No, I think there's still great roles for pretty girls. There's no. I think when a role has substance, it doesn't matter if what the look is, and to me, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Right.
What's pretty to you may not be pretty to me.
Very true.
Everybody has a different idea of what beauty and pretty is. To me, it's more about the material and the substance, and being able to bring that to life and stay true to it, which is why I did cut my hair, because I feel like, if I'm playing a cop or, an FBI agent or a homeless person. Like, you know, it's not realistic to have this long, sultry hair. Yeah. You know, it's just not practical.
Well, I like the way you said beauty, kind of mix it with substance. So my question to you, Annabelle, is who out there, you know, maybe leading ladies already, even just entrepreneurs, which women are you seeing as like beautiful, strong, confident women? Doesn't have to be Latina, so to speak. But, you know, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder of, like, you know, your career is focused. Obviously, you're more attractive in that way.
I've always been a huge fan of Charlize Theron.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think she's been able to, I mean, she's gorgeous. She's stunning. And, I mean, when she did the movie Monster, it's Monster, right?
Yeah, with where the full makeover.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and she's been able to transcend the idea of like, oh, her beauty, you know, she's still gorgeous, but she still takes on these really cool, edgy roles that don't always require her to look that way.
Yeah, it's like I studied this thing. I really want to be like an actor. Because you're not too big of a fan on social media, or are you? You're from what I know, you don't love it.
No, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with it, to be honest. I love the fact that I get to interact with fans. It's so amazing because I can be having the shittiest day and I'll get such a nice compliment from a fan or a comment on one of my pictures like, hey, you know, or a direct message like, I loved you so much in this, you inspire me, and I'm like, wow. You know, like that's...
Well, that's good. I can never take them serious because they always have names like, you know, little, like, you know, window 22.
Right.
And I'm like, is your name Bob?
It's still nice. It's still nice, but I'm pretty private.
Well, I think it's refreshing that you do have, because me and you had that agreement. Like, it sucks because like I want to do media broadcast. I love all that. Producer, of course, the work that we had done. Like, I like all the work, but I don't like this idea that you're forced to, like, you know, sell yourself every single second. That's just not for me and the career I kind of want to go into, you know?
Yeah, we had spoken about this. I just, you know, when I fell in love with acting and when I first started acting, social media wasn't this big, and I
Are we about the same age?
I just turned 30.
Oh my God, I'm like way older than you then. I'll be 37 this year. Can you believe it? 37. I feel like I was just 30. When I was 30 is when I moved to New York, your hood. I mean, you grew up there, right?
I love New York.
Where in Queens? Is that where you kind of grew up?
Yes, Jackson Heights.
Okay.
And then I lived in Sunnyside for a while.
Very nice.
Yeah.
When did you make the LA jump, I guess? And why hesitant? Or was it the next step in your career?
I was hesitant for a bit. I was a diehard New Yorker.
Yeah.
Yes, I still love New York. I love the vibe. I love the energy. I love the people. It was a very big transition. You know, the lifestyle in LA is very different to the lifestyle in New York. So in the beginning, I was very hesitant. I moved right after my first independent film.
Okay.
Yes, my management at the time was like, you need to move to LA for pilot season.
Yeah, you have to go with momentum, I think.
Yes.
And do you get to film anything though? Is Quantico filmed in New York by chance, or?
Quantico was originally filming in Canada when I was on it. Yeah.
Okay.
We were shooting in Montreal and Quebec.
Because that would be amazing if you could go for a summer and shoot something in your old neighborhood or whatever.
Yes.
What would be a dream New York role? I mean, you say you like meaty roles, but you also say like a pretty girl could have a good role. What would be something you'd really want to play?
I would love to move back to New York for a series. I would. I always.
Oh, like a real move.
I always, yes.
Oh.
Like still maybe keep a place here, but like go and shoot a series in New York.
Yeah. And tell the people, like, why is it so much more, I don't want to say more incredible. I'm conflicted because I'm from Los Angeles, but my time in New York was so amazing and shitty too because it's also terrible. But it's just there's only one place like that. So can you put into words what makes that New York heartbeat?
There's an energy in New York that I just can't explain it. I love Broadway. I love the fashion. I love shopping in New York. I don't know. I like how like to walk.
So many different things are happening on one day. So like the Yankees could have a home opener one day, and that's like the biggest thing to this particular group of people.
Yes.
But then there'll be something at Lincoln Center that's so amazing to this group of people.
Yes.
But then there'll be something in Bed-Stuy, like a music festival, that's so important to that group. And that's what I just.
Yeah.
I guess we have it in LA.
I mean, you can literally be in Grand Central and there be like the most amazing like violinist, and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
You know, in Grand Central, and then you're on the subway and you see the most amazing epic group of like break dancers.
I think if I was choosing a role, I don't necessarily act or whatnot, more on the radio media side, but I would want to do a role. I know you didn't ask me, but I'm now, taking charge, Annabelle.
What kind of, what's your dream role?
Thank you. Well, first I have to learn to dance to Despacito, but no, secondly, I would want to do a role in like LA-based story, because I feel like all the shows that I really, really love, I love Mozart in the Jungle.
I love Mozart in the Jungle.
Wasn't it the great?
I was so excited when that show won awards.
It's getting a 4th season too.
Amazing. I was such a huge fan of it, and I always thought to myself, this is such an underrated show.
I mean, and then to have Bernadette Peters on it, and I mean, Gael Bernal Garcia is so amazing. I remember watching it saying, I don't know nothing about the orchestra, so to speak, but still being so connected, because it was the same story, I would assume, as you coming up in New York acting, or me coming up in radio in LA. It was all that same dream, focus or whatever. Oh, yeah. Season 4 is going to be amazing. The lead's pretty good, too.
Amazing.
I believe that's the sister of one of the girls in Girls. Do you watch Girls as well?
I did watch Girls.
Okay. Yeah, tell me about your TV shows, because here at AfterBuzz we do after show recaps.
Okay.
What shows are you?
I have been watching American Gods.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I heard that one was really amazing. I haven't seen it, but that's Stars or Showtime?
Stars.
Okay.
I've been watching American Gods. I love Billions. I'm a huge fan of Billions.
Yeah.
It takes way too long to come back. I feel like between seasons, I'm like,
yeah.
What other shows do I watch? I just finished watching Gypsy on Netflix with Naomi Watts.
Okay.
And I thought that was pretty interesting. I liked that.
Yeah. I love how you're just kind of choosing where you're going to go directionally, but we do want to talk about Quantico a smidge, just because I want you to tell me more. We have some photos here. What's like the FBI lingo that you had to kind of grab from, or skill set? I mean, you can't just hop
really
on set.
No, you can't.
I can't be casted tomorrow without training.
That was challenging. It was, because it's not a vocabulary or a lingo that I use every day, so I really had to repeat my lines, just to the point where it really, when I said them, I believed it and it felt natural to me. Because if I don't believe myself, I mean, obviously the audience is going to be like, oh, here's this girl trying to sound like an FBI agent.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was challenging, and it's it's a show that has a lot of dialogue and action at the same time, and it's a lot of moving around and talking. So you really have to know your stuff.
Yeah. No, I mean, even the physicality, as you said, and plus I feel like you could be like very feel very kick-ass-ish. You get kind of motivated. Like, that's a badass character. Natalie, right? Is the name
Natalie
of the character?
Vasquez.
Yeah. What was the big difference between playing this fantastic role and playing the Ballers? I thought I saw like online it was like, oh, her character is like a wag or something like that. Tell me, what's
a wag is?
I mean, I know what it is.
Yeah, it's a wife athlete. I
thought it was wife and girlfriend.
Wife and girlfriend, of athletes.
Yes. And as much as I watch reality TV, I will not touch that show. I don't watch. I watch too many other bad ones that I'm like, TV. I gotta stick to like.
I can't.
It's bad, but on really tough days, it's fun to laugh too with them. I guess I'm trying to rationalize it.
I loved playing Bella. I tried to make her. I didn't want to make her the typical like. The idea that people have of what a wag, of an athlete is. I love the fact that they, Stephen Levinson and the writers wrote her and created her to be very smart, very independent, very cool.
Was she sneaky at all, or?
No, she was, she's very loyal to him. She loves him. She puts up with a lot of his crap, and he, he's very mature and, wild, and she's kind of like the girl that, really held him down and always gave him good advice, and had her own, she ends up leaving him, and, she has her own life. She doesn't depend on him. She's with him because she really loves him. And, there were episodes that I dressed sexy in the tight dress and the stomach out, but then there were also episodes where, I was more like chill and dressed down. I wanted her to be like relatable to the women. I
feel like because you seem to be a really sweet girl, I think I need you to play. I'm just like throwing it in the casting universe. I feel like maybe like I haven't watched too many episodes, but I do feel like the show's amazing. Power maybe even, I don't know, but like I need you to be sneaky. I feel like I'm just at one.
I was actually up for Power.
Okay.
I was.
So there you go.
For the role of Angela.
Oh. Yeah. Oh really? Okay.
And then but you know Ballers came along.
Yeah.
So
and that was
But
filmed?
I love Layla Lauren.
Yeah.
I think she's incredible.
Yeah. But it's still cool to like be in contention with these types of roles.
Yeah, for sure. And
know.
I worked with 50. I did a movie film called Freelancers with him.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, so I'm a huge fan of the show. I'm very happy for its success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I liked about that show is it had like that slow burn, you know, like it just kind of season 1 people knew about it, but gosh, on season 4 everyone's like talking about it. I'm only up to like season 1-ish or something like that.
So you think I could be sneaky?
Only because on account of we already done an interview and like I was like,
you think I can get away with it?
Well, I think, okay, here's what it is. I think when people see, like, well, as we said, like the pretty girl and me, you know, good looking man, you know, they think we're like assholes. I'm just kidding. I'm not good looking.
They do.
But so I felt like when I saw you, you had so much more layers to you that I was like, oh, she's sweet, cool. So with that said, let's get her to play a mean, sneaky biatch. Yeah, you know?
I did play a biatch on Quantico.
Yeah, I like the way you said biatch, just the way I said it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I loved it because they hated my role so much. You know, Priyanka's so loved, especially, you know, in India. Like, I had so many Indian fans writing my Instagram, like, leave her alone. And, you know, because I was like her nemesis on the show. But then towards the end, they started writing her, you know, for people to really love her, and that's when she died. And it had such a powerful effect on the audience.
There you go.
It was amazing.
Tell me about like even the earlier stages and your studying, you know, like education into acting. And it's not just acting. You have other pursuits, correct? Other things you're following? I mean, are you kind of like a triple threat type thing, or or do you just love performing?
I love being an actress.
Yeah.
I do. I just like becoming other things and portraying other things. You know, reality is very boring to me.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, like when we're in the car drive. Like
I just.
The traffic.
You know, whenever I read a script, whenever I read lines, and it's like a cool role and cool characters, it's like that's what, you know. It's like a rush. It's.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do love creating. I'm working on a kids show right now that I'm creating, which is really cool. I can't talk about it too much.
Okay.
Yeah, and I started off as a dancer. Actually, the first pilot that I ever booked for ABC called Grace, I played a dancer.
Okay.
Yes.
So dance is in your blood on some level.
It is.
Oh man, I'm still embarrassed by the way we opened the show, and I tried to wiggle as good as her, but I mean I tried though. Effort,
you did.
Effort
You did
counts.
good.
People love it.
They do.
They love it. Sorry, I'm bothered.
You have those light eyes.
Yeah,
You can.
right.
You know,
and
light eyes just.
I want to get a tan more so because I tan really well, but I've been overworking because then the eyes will be lighter.
Oh.
You see, there's a game to this, yeah. And in fact, if we're going to talk about my eyes, I know this is your interview and I'm just totally bogarting it. I'm a horrible human being.
Tell me about your eyes.
I never wear sunglasses because these were always like my go-to, like, hey, look at my eyes. And so I've never been a sunglass person, which makes it a problem. I'll go in a setting like where it's sunny and I'll be like squinting. So I've got a lot to work through. Mess. Sorry.
On the other hand, I love sunglasses. They're like what I spend most of my money on.
If you're drunk the
shades.
next day, you could cover it all the way up. So that's
absolutely. You can cover up a lot of things.
God. The worst thing though is when you see a good-looking person with sunglasses and it turns out they're not a good-looking person. That's a problem though too.
Yeah.
I've seen that a lot too.
They're deceiving.
Oh my gosh! So like, you're at a fun stage or whatnot, but like, you told me like this past February was like your life changer. Your big
yes.
old. Can you kind of explain that whole situation?
I had an accident, a really bad car accident in early February, and I was in the hospital for a while. It took me a while to recover. I couldn't work. I missed a couple projects that I had to turn down.
How like in pain were you, or what happened to you?
I broke a bunch of ribs. I broke ribs. I had a collapsed lung. I suffered a concussion. It was like, you know, I was in the backseat of a Suburban on the freeway, and we got cut off and we flipped all over the freeway.
Were you the most severely hurt in that situation?
Yes.
And now, do you comfortably say the word like near-death experience, or just like life-changing?
Yes, I can comfortably say it.
That's scary, Annabelle.
It's the closest, yeah. I think if you surpass it, though, you know, you say it without fear.
Yeah. What happened? Did your family come, like, fly to LA? Was it in LA or?
Yeah, it happened here.
Okay, so everyone just came, rushed to.
Yes.
That's creepy.
I had a lot of love, thankfully.
Everyone was driving safe though? It was just like an actual accident, or?
Yes, we got cut off, and you know, it was rush hour traffic, so. Yeah.
And you feel like that's been a big change for you as
Absolutely.
far. Did you want to like what was like getting back into work feeling like? Did it take a while to start working again?
Oh, it did. Yes. I mean, I was so frustrated. I'm a workaholic, you know. I don't know how to stop.
Why are you a workaholic?
I love what I do. I love to feel productive, and you know, I'm passionate about what I do. It excites me. So it's like I always want to get up and you know, read scripts, and you know, I almost to the point where I try to take on too much.
Yeah.
And that accident was a very, you know, it was enlightening.
Yeah.
For me, because it forced me to, you know, sit my behind down and with broken ribs and pass on movies and things that I was getting offered, and just really learn how to put my health, you know, first, which I think sometimes we forget because we're so busy just in the routine of getting up and working and making money, and then, you know, we don't listen to our body, or we don't, you know. We
always have to be doing something. It is weird.
Yeah.
Did you find like the beauty of like, did you start reading, or what did you do during that time? If you're so used to always going to auditions, meeting people, connecting or whatever.
I worked on my patience.
Yeah.
Yes, because I was injured, and I wanted to work. I actually had an offer on a movie at the time, which she was a wrestler, you know, so it required physical, it was a physical role. So I was so bummed out. So it, you know, it strengthened my faith a lot, and my belief that, you know, things happen. You just have to trust how things happen and how they unfold. So I don't try. Before, I would think like I had so much control over things, and that situation made me realize that I'm not in control of anything. You know, that when I am tired, and you know, I get my rest, and I eat properly, and I take care of myself first before, you know, going out into the world. And
I think a lot of people would have a hard time with it. I mean, they would have a hard time with the near-death experience, but like just forcing people, especially like people that I know, like they have to be going at 1,000 miles a minute. I don't know what that is. I used to be like that in my 20s. In my 30s, I've really learned to relax. It's quite amazing.
Yeah, I think life had to teach me to slow down.
Yeah.
I didn't, you know, I was coming from New York. You know, New York is a city you wake up and you just go. You don't even think about it. You know, you put your headphones on and you're just like go. And I've always had that drive and that, you know, that mentality and that focus. So this really forced me to, you know, just have more faith and be patient. And it was a blessing, because it just, when you appreciate life to a certain extent, I just appreciate moments with my friends, you know, and my family, whether it's a conversation on the phone, something as simple as like, you know what, let me call my dad instead of texting him. You know?
This social media.
Because you just never, and I saw the accident happen, you know, some people don't remember.
Oh, because you were in the back seat.
Yeah, and I was, you know, I remember I was texting, but I was looking, you know, towards the front when the car cut us off and we flipped. So I saw that happen when it happened.
Right.
Yeah, and it just, I see life differently, but in a good way.
It's a couple things interesting about that. I do like the idea that now when things like this happen, it's like, oh my God, I need to call with people. I need to visit the people. If I wasn't going to go to this get together because, you know, my life is so important, maybe in this case, I'll go to this get together.
Yes.
And even like an intriguing thing, again, I'm making this whole show about me. Do you know what I did today? Annabelle, I really did this. I did this today. I, for whatever reason, out of all days, I emailed one of my old mentors, one of my old radio mentors.
Wow.
Of all days, like what, like I haven't talked to her in like a long time, right? And today felt like the day. Like I think I heard a song that reminded me of her, you know, whatnot. Hey, you know, just thinking of you. I was gonna let her know I'm back in Los Angeles. Like, hey, we'll do lunch. She literally emails me, you know, later on in the day, and says, "Oh, so great to hear from you. Unfortunately, my father passed away today, so I just, you know, I need I'm not trying to give anyone's business away. I'm just saying I was really touched by like how sometimes the universe pushes us to slow down or connect with people, because I'm not a fan of social media saying hello. That's not how you say hello to Ronnie. You know, you need to like reach out, ask how people are doing.
Yeah.
So good, you've made it through that storm.
I did.
Yeah. So what's next? How are you gonna kick ass the rest of this 2017?
I have a couple things coming up. There's a film called Lost and Found in Cuba that I'm really, really passionate about. It's a story about Cuban girl. She's super materialistic. It's a comedy, but a lot of heart in it. Super materialistic, and she ends up losing her job and just going through a tough time. And her mom, she's second generation Cuban, so her family's like very, very Cuban. And her mom's like, hey, let's go to Cuba and visit your grandmother. She's never like gone to Cuba. So she ends up taking the trip over there, and she ends up like losing her purse and all this stuff. She gets stuck in Cuba. And you just see this amazing change in her character from this materialistic, like bitchy, all about herself Hollywood girl to the girl that like gets in touch with her roots and her family towards the end. So that's a film I'm supposed to start shooting in the fall. Were you involved in like the writing process? Like what? I was not.
It spoke to you because you were born in Cuba.
I was.
Yeah, I mean that's got to be a cool aspect.
So
and
cool.
You probably see a lot of superficial women. You kind of match those two and make it a character.
Yes. Yeah. The script came to me when I was shooting Quantico. And I absolutely fell in love with the script. I couldn't go into any of the auditions, and they kept casting, having casting sessions, and they kept not finding the girl. And Regina, who's the writer, director, producer of the film, she loved me in Ballers, and she's like, I just feel like you're Mia. I just, can we at least get on the phone? Because I was shooting Quantico, and I'm like, I haven't even been able to read your script, and I want to give you the respect of, getting on the phone and really talking about this project. She's like, but I just, so I'm like, okay, we talked on the phone. Yeah. And she was, just by a conversation on the phone, she's like, you're Mia.
Okay.
And I'm like, I think so.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I read the script, and I'm like, yeah, it was like one of those things.
Yeah. That'll be fun to watch. That'll be a good story. There's so many stories that aren't being told, so that's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
What out of the films that came out this last year was like a story that really meant a lot to you? And or different? Like I think of like Moonlight being so intriguing, and like that layered story never really being told. That was so awesome to see.
I thought Moonlight was incredible. I'm trying to think what films. I can't recall right now. I just saw Nicole Kidman's film, The Beguiled. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I loved it. I'm a huge fan of hers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watch a lot of cartoon stuff. I have a little brother.
Cartoon?
So.
What do you mean cartoon? Like
I watch a lot of DreamWorks. You know what it is?
Like not the adult cartoons, but the cartoons.
Yeah, like the DreamWorks and the Marvel comics.
People do love it.
Yeah, I have a little brher who's
how many years younger?
Super nerd. He's 15, but he loves animation and all the comics and all of that stuff. So we kind of bond over that. So I watch all of those movies and I talk to him about it because the deep stuff that people like, the popular movies that people are usually like, oh my God, did you see that? Did you see that? I
too emotional.
I watched Get Out, which I thought was
I want to watch
incredible.
Lion. That's the next one on my list.
Which one?
Lion.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the next one that I really want to watch.
I think because I'm an actress and I do this for a living, sometimes I don't want to watch sometimes I have to disconnect,
Yeah,
so I don't watch movies as much.
I love the dynamic though of the younger sibling. How many years was that? 15 years apart?
He was born when I was 13.
Oh, because my little sister's 10 years younger, and what a bond that it's like doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
I feel like you learn from them. I mean, of course they learn from you, but I remember watching Degrassi as like a 22-year-old because my sister was watching the show called Degrassi.
Yeah.
Like you're just connected to a different type of lifestyle.
Yeah. I try to find the balance between being the cool sister and, because I want him to be able to talk to me about everything, but then I also want to protect him and guide him. So I try to be cool, but still kind of like, you can't do this, and when they're at that age, it's like, he's a boy, so he doesn't want to, he's just like girl crazy right now. He like sees tits and he's like, oh my God. And I'm just like, oh.
I know. What do you say to that? You're
a baby.
Does he ever like when he's following your career? Does he ever get like, I don't want to say offended, but like when he hears stories like there was the gossipy Wiz Khalifa rumors, like stuff like that. How does like a little sibling take stuff like that, which is not true, but like how do you deal with that, or how does he deal with that?
He'll ask me.
Like he'll ask you like, hey, were you really?
Is this? Yeah, because he follows my career, and you know he's creative too, so smart. I always say he's more talented than I am.
Yeah.
He helps me read lines over the phone.
Oh, nice.
And he
still
just
in New
has
York,
it.
or?
No, he lives in Miami. My family lives in Miami. Yeah, he has it. So he's like so creative. I mean, when he gets older, he's gonna be a force to be reckoned with.
Okay.
But he watches my work and he's critical of it. He'll say if he likes something. He'll say if he thought my acting was great. If he didn't, you know, like my earlier projects like Freelancers, my dad didn't think my acting was so great in it.
But wasn't that a big pivotal film for you though? Like to kind of move you forward?
Oh my God, it was. Yeah, it's amazing.
But your father wasn't really like impressed. He knew you could do more. He
sees my acting now, and he's like, "Wow, you've improved so much."
Yeah.
You know, so they pay attention, and you know they keep up. And my little brother's super like, he watches my stuff. He's like, I like this, I don't like this, and I think you should, you know. Yeah.
Did you ever, when you were starting the business, were you the only one in your family that was doing this?
Yes, I'm still the only one in my family.
So were they like so cool about it? Like you hear the stories of like J-Lo where her mother wanted her. I work in J-Lo into my sentences every time I do an interview, by the way. I'm that big of a fan. But you always hear like, oh, they wanted her to be like a paralegal, this, that, and the other. What was your family's wish list for you? Was this okay to be an actress?
I think that, you know, to them it seemed so far-fetched. Like they just thought I was like dreaming and it wasn't realistic. It took me really, you know, making a living out of it and them seeing me like, oh my God, you're, you know, for them to really...
You're in the TV, I see you in there.
Yeah, for them to really believe like, you know, you can make dreams come true. You can, you know, if you set your mind to something, you could do it. And I mean, you know, my parents, they didn't grow up here the way I did. You know, they grew up in Cuba. So for them, it's, you know, a parent's first instinct is, you know, to protect their child. So the most common sense thing was, okay, she's gonna go to a regular college and then maybe get an office job and then have a family. You know, my mom had me when she was 20 years old. So, I went in a completely different direction.
I think a lot of times they don't even know how bad you want it, maybe. So maybe when they're not giving that encouragement, they're probably like thinking it's a hobby of yours. And so it's like not your job, but it's your job to sort of let them know, no, I'm real. Like my life ain't going nowhere but this direction.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, they're supportive. They're extremely supportive. They just still till this day, they think it's very tough what I do, you know, being in the public eye and your private life being put out there, you know, and I'm very protective. Like when I started landing, you know, bigger things, you know, I told my mom and my little brother, they're on Instagram, to put their profiles on private.
Yeah. Yeah, because people are so nasty. Like
they are.
I'm not with that shit.
No, and you know, I'm private, and you know, I keep my love life very private, which is why I'm always getting all these fake rumors, because I've never, you know, I don't really put my love life out there like that.
Right. Well, you can dictate kind of how people react to you. So by being private, I feel like in the short term, you're not getting this gigantic buzz like social media, but like that's not what you're in this business for.
No.
Like you're in it to act, as I said with me, like I'm into broadcast because I like to do that, you know.
Yeah.
I don't that whole when it makes me laugh when people go, "Oh, such and such's video went viral." Mm-hmm. Is that what we're celebrating now? A viral video? Now, if you tell me if you tell me the project is amazing, then it's like, "Oh, cool, I want to see Annabelle wrote this, you know, this great story, you know, about a broadcaster named Ronnie. Let's watch it, you know."
Yeah.
But not virally. It just makes no sense.
No. Not the private life.
All right.
When it's family and romantic relationships, it's something I choose to protect. And you know, some people don't take it that way. Some people take it as you're shady.
Wait, shady which way?
I've gotten that before. Just like, oh, you don't want to be seen with me, you know, or why don't you?
Yeah, because you haven't like paraded someone, you know. That's tough. Yeah, but that's also tough for you though. Like when you are in love with somebody.
It is. Like when the whole Wiz Khalifa thing was happening, I had a boyfriend.
Okay.
At the time.
So what was his reaction?
You know, so I was like, I mean.
But it's also the nature of the business.
Why are you on a carpet? What, you know, why are you didn't tell me you were showing up on a carpet, you know, with him. And, you know, I'm not public about my private life. So a person on that end can feel like, well, you're not seen with me. Are you hiding me? Are you cheating on me? Are you lying? And it's like, no. It's
just, those insecurities could develop in a man's head.
You know, it's tough.
So what does that mean for you, though? Like, are you always going to have to kind of keep it completely quiet? Or do you just
I'm sure there's going to come a point, you know, where you get married and you know, you're seen, and it's like you can't. But I see it as protecting. You know, I think when you're in the public eye, people don't respect your feelings. You know, people don't. They don't respect your private life. Like, you know, they'll go easily on a picture and say, "Oh, you look ugly. You're fat, or you're like this," or. You know, they're quick to want to tear you down, or, you know, they feed off of negativity and drama, and I don't, you know. I don't.
Once you put it out there, that's what, like a Chris Brown type situation, it's going to be always, kind of always and forever. But if you make those certain things in your head, like, no, I don't want to put my family out there. It doesn't mean I don't, or who I'm in love with. It doesn't mean I don't like them. It's just, it's not, I'm going to share my career. I'm not going to share my personal stuff. Well, that is amazing. We're so excited to see Fat Camp, and I guess
I'm so excited about Fat Camp. You know, because this script came to me at such a time. I was shooting in Canada, and I went through, like, I was a bit depressed when I was over there because it was so cold. I was away from my family, my friends, my guy, and I'm like, oh my God, it's shooting in the cold 16 hours. And this script was so funny. The kids were so amazing. Like, it was just such a different, like, shift. And we really, you know, this was a low budget film, and we really came on set every day and just had a blast and worked hard and, you know, put our hearts into this. So, you know, when you do independent projects, you don't know if the world's going to see it. You don't know if the world's going to see it. You don't know if they do see it, how they're going to receive it. You don't know how they're going to edit you. You don't know, you know, you do something you read something, you're like, oh, I love this, but then you don't know what the final product is going to be. And to be happy with the final product and for people to love the movie and the message, I cannot ask for more.
I think you definitely won with the role, because to be like cool Abby, who is relatable to all those chubbier boys, but like, I guess she's warm and checks him or whatever. I mean, it's fun. I also like the part in the trailer where the kid goes, "Oh no," because he's a little frumpy. Oh, I'm still a stud. Like, we gotta celebrate that too.
I learned so much from these kids. So much. I mean, when they had to do the Magic Mike number, they were so confident. Like, you saw how I was doing Despacito? Nothing. Those kids, they were so confident. And I'm looking at them like, oh my God, you know, when I gain a little weight, I'm like, no, I can't do like a sex scene. I can't, like, cover me up. They were so confident and so fearless and just so, like, non-inhibited. I was, like, so inspired by them. I'm like, oh my God. It has to almost open up your acting, because you're like, why am I tripping out over the littlest things? So confident in their skin. It's amazing,
Well, then that's why I think the message is pretty good. Like I said, weight to me, I will want to lie and say that I don't, like, trip over it every day, but I really do think about it all the time. I talk about it a lot, and I don't think that I'm, like, fully evolved through it. So I think with that said, like, this is going to be a kick-ass little thing that I put on BET and chuckle and we'll laugh when what was the line that they said about you, Abby? They said, oh, she's cute, I guess, if you like that type. And what he said? Hey, she's everywhere. Oh.
Well, again, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and that's what I love about this film. That, you know, one of the characters, like, he's in love with Candace. But Chris's character wouldn't necessarily find a girl like Candace attractive, but he does.
It reminds me of the effect that you had when you watched the movie, what was it, Shallow Hal, years ago? You know, like how you just kind of, you know, beauty is, you know, within the confidence, this, that, and the other. Well, good for you for taking on the role. Anything else you want to share with us? Anything about you? I just think the part that I liked about you was that you went through this crazy thing in February, and you're on the other side of it, and stuff does happen, but look at you go. And look at your shoes. I wish we could get the shoes on camera. You guys, she has shoes that are like, the heel is like probably this high. And you're already tall and slender. How about you? Man, oh man, oh man.
They're so sexy, though.
Yeah, but we're not on feet camera.
No.
Nonetheless, thanks, Annabelle, for coming through.
Thank you so much.
Give them...
I always have so much fun with you.
Oh, thank you. This is our second interview.
Looking at your blue eyes.
I'm working on it. I'm back in California. You know how that adjustment is a little bit. I've only been here like 2 months. And the 1 month I was here, I went to New York. So it's an adjustment, but it's going to be good. Happy summer.
Likewise. Work on your tan.
Yes, of course. Watch Fat Camp if you can. It's on BET. It started at the LA Film Festival. Great little project that she worked on in Canada, you said.
No, we shot Fat Camp here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, and it's doing really well, so that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and look to the camera, and if you want to give your social media and...
I'm Anabelle Acosta. My social media is Anabelle Acosta 1.
All right, she's number one. I'm at Randomly RJ, and this has been a follow you. Okay. What are you gonna post? What are the pictures you'll? What's the Annabelle kind of post? What do you? Fashion? You do like fashion?
I do like fashion. I love scenery. I love the water and sunsets and all that. But I feel like and food.
Yeah.
I know that annoys people. Probably they're like.
Oh, like scenery, like Well, food could get annoying, but I think like going to like a vineyard or something like that. Yeah. That's the piece that you need. Yeah. That's how you slow down.
And moments with my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The beach, cool stuff. Friends, wine.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was my last post. It was wine.
Oh, did you? Okay. This has been Spotlight on Anabelle Acosta. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.